We're live, we think.
Goodness, I've never had that much trouble with a Facebook Live. It just kept asking us to set up the video
We're live now.
without. Drives me nuts. Hi, Chloe.
Alrighty. 1 second. I'm going to be keeping an eye on comments if anybody wants to comment anything. So, first, we're going to share something that we brought back with us from South Africa. And before we show it to you, we want you to picture in your mind what cream soda looks like. Can you see it? All right. Now,
This was given to us at a youth event. That when we were getting ready to finish the youth event. Oh, good morning, Ken. Good to see you.
Hi, Ken.
When we were finishing the youth event, our host Darren said, "Wait, guys, we have to see this. Joe and Abby, what color do you think cream soda is?" And we said, "It's brown, obviously." And the whole group of youth students said, "What? No!" And they went and got the bottle and showed us. Boop. Cream soda is green
Cream
in
soda
South
is
Africa.
green.
And it is disconcerting to see that color and drink that flavor and experience that flavor with that vision.
All right. If you want us to open it, maybe give a like to the video or make a comment. Woo! We wish we could pour you all a glass, but we will share the experience with you. Girls?
Ready, girls? It is such a bright green color. It looks like when I was growing up watching the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and there was the slime, the ooze that turned them.
The ooze. Ooze.
This is South Africa cream soda.
And it smells, I don't know. It actually doesn't smell as much like cream soda
Yeah.
as the American cream soda does.
The taste is so clean.
But it tastes like cream soda.
So in any case, we wanted to have an opportunity to share with you more about what's going on, how all of this came to be, and this is just an exciting time. We also wanted to be able to go deeper. Of course, we put out that 3-minute video that summarized everything, but the story that we didn't have time to tell in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And so it really started as we were working through that question. When are you going? When are you leaving? Which we get. I mean, we're just as anxious, if not more anxious than you are about this. We are so ready to go and to be there. I'm not going to say we cry every day, but it feels like crying every day because we have an ache to begin the work that we are supposed to be doing, the work that we've been called to. And no one knows what to do when the question is, when are you going? And the answer is, when something else happens. In this case, when we're fully funded, we get to book our tickets and go. And there's more to it than that. We have to get our clearances through our missions organization, and that's fair and right and good. But how do we get this process started? And one of the biggest things is that I'm still working full time at our Ascending Church. And I love our Ascending Church, and I love the people. I've wanted to work at our church most of my life. Now I'm finally working there with the express intent of giving it away. And everyone wants to know the timeline. Everyone, including the staff at the Ascending Church, wants to know, how long am I going to be around to help with things? When is a transition going to happen? And having a fuzzy departure date is kind of driving everybody nuts. So Abby and I started having that conversation. We said, what if we just put a stake in the ground, stepped out in faith and said, hey, let's go, let's do this. I'm going to leave on a certain date, whether we're funded for it or not. whether we can technically afford it or not. Um, these last few months, we've been able to get completely out of debt, which has been absolutely amazing. We've been able to build up a little bit of savings. Said, you know what? If I have to pay the rest of my salary out of our savings, I don't care. Let's go. Let's do it. And so, what if we went back to Texas and visited more friends and family, especially those that we missed the first time around, and got to explore other areas of Texas. I mean, Abby's parents had really close connections with churches in Houston, and we've not made church visits down there. So, what if we build up a Texas trip? What if we go? What if we just make this happen? Let's say September, maybe middle of August. Like, let's just pick a date and move. Let's do something. Um, Although that doesn't answer when we're going, it at least puts another pin on the calendar and says this is when something is happening, and at least the church can focus on that and plan for that. So we started thinking and praying about moving that direction, about making a leap of faith and going. Of course, God has different plans. And we're very excited. We got a message from our team leaders who our team leaders who let us know that there's a conference that happens in South Africa, typically every other year, but it is a regional conference where ABWE missionaries from the Southern African region, all of the countries that we're in, all of the missionaries get together and spend time together. What's working well? What's not working well? What trends are we seeing? How can we minister more effectively? This is the group of people that is most closely aligned to what you're doing and what your life looks like. And having a chance to break away from the active current daily ministry and to get together and say, okay, you guys get it. You know what it's like. Even though the cultures are a little different, it feels so similar. So this conference happens every couple of years, and it's coming up in October. And so our leaders said there is no pressure, but if you were at if you were at 30%, we wouldn't have even asked. But you're at nearly 70%. Now we're officially, 70%, and there is a chance that we could be there. So this is a really fascinating, wonderful part of the story. They told us, the risk, of course, is that you would commit to coming because all the families share the cost evenly. And it's probably going to be like around $500. We don't know. But if you commit to coming and then you aren't able to come, that money's non-refundable because that cost gets split. And so we talked about it. We prayed about it. We were already planning to make a move. This just shifted the timeline for what we were thinking. So we said, okay, let's do it. Let's go for it. It feels right. We're still going to pray some more. We're still going to, seek God. What do you have going on for us? An hour after we said yes, we got a donation from someone at our sending church that we've been friends with for a long time, of $500 exactly. Yep. And it just landed in our account, and we saw it, and we praise God that the right thing is happening at the right time, and we're apparently moving the right direction. So this is the new timeline. The conference is happening in early October.
Like very early October.
Yeah. Like, I still don't want to share dates online just because I don't want someone to find this and be like, oh, so that's when those people are going to be out of their house? We should go rob it. So sometime early-ish October, we would be looking to attend this conference with our team leaders and with all of our ABWE fellow missionaries. We would want to land at least by October 1st. So we would have a couple days to get over the jet lag, unpack some of our stuff, just kind of settle a little bit, and then hop on a plane immediately and go across South Africa from Durban to Cape Town, which is horrifically inexpensive. I mean, we're talking like $100 flights per person, maybe 150, but this is not expensive to get our family across the country. What would be a 24-hour drive, the same distance as West Virginia to Texas. So, in order to attend the conference, we want to land in South Africa October 1st, which would mean leaving September 29th. And that's a rush. There's a lot to do. We still have to go to Washington, D.C. and visit the South African consulate and apply for a work visa. And we know that that process typically goes pretty darn quickly, but we don't want to wait until, you know, mid-September to apply and assume it's going to happen in 2 weeks. Like, there's a lot of paperwork to do. So now, of course, the question is, we're at 70%, and we need to be at 100% in order to get clearance to go. And we're looking to leave in September. We need to be at 100% before September comes around. And that leads us to our next section, which is, what are we doing to raise that last 30%? I'm happy to keep going. Would you like to?
Yeah, so we're looking for speaking engagements, obviously. But more than that, we're looking for connection opportunities. And we're looking to get to know people that we've known for a long time better. We're looking to get to meet new people. We have found that God is building our team from both, and that's been incredible. And we do want to emphasize that it is building our team, because we don't want it to be where your resources just kind of go out and you forget that where it's even going or what it's even doing. We want it to be a relationship that we have with every single one of our supporters. And when we say supporters, we're talking about prayer team members, we're talking about people who donate their time and resources to us, we're talking about people who are giving their funds, people who offer words of encouragement. And sometimes we get people that are doing all of those things, or a couple of those things, or just one of those things. And all of those people are just as valuable to our team. You know, and we want to always let you know what's going on when we are able to, so that you can know how to pray, but then also so you can see what your resources are doing in the kingdom. You know, you can hear success stories, you can hear stories of spiritual warfare, so that you know, like, wow, this is a spiritual battle, and we're entering into it together. And yeah, we're looking for teammates. We're looking for people who want to be a part of the Bar No Sky team, and who want to see the gospel spread in South Africa. So we're looking for coffee dates. We're looking for Bible studies. We're looking for Sunday school classes. We're looking for community groups. We're looking for churches. We're looking for Wednesday nights, Sunday morning, one-off nights, missionary parties. If you've never heard of a missionary party, listen, it's a great time. We can have the opportunity to share about our ministry, and normally there's some cultural aspect. So if you want to learn some words in Zulu, if you want to eat a traditional African meal, we can do that. Like, we can make it a party and have a chance for maybe people in your family or community to be able to ask questions of a missionary that they've always wanted to know. So we've got, and between us, you know, we're missionaries, but then I was a missionary kid, and our kids are missionary kids. So we've got a variety of stories to share, and we just want to have a great time and enjoy fellowshipping together and talking about what God's doing around the world. So yeah, that's the speaking engagements.
Yeah. We know from our missions orientation that 20 years ago, the vast majority of a missionary's support, I mean, we're talking 80-85% or more of a missionary's monthly support in the field was coming from churches. That's the traditional missions model. Today, that number is flipped. most missionaries that are going are finding that 75% or more of their support is typically coming from individuals. And there are a lot of reasons for that. There are a lot of contributing factors. Um, but the fact is, churches as a body together are giving less to missions. They're focusing more on the local ministries, especially since COVID. Every church is struggling with some declining attendance and getting people to get and stay engaged. Generational shifts are happening, and the things that reached people 20 years ago are not reaching now, and everyone is dealing with what's happening inside of their house, and that's good. And there is a great commission call for churches to be involved, but there's also a great commission call for individuals to be involved and to deeply engage in what God is doing around the world. And so missionaries are finding that they may go speak at a church, and the church may not officially take them on, but a handful of individuals will say, you know what, this is worth $100 a month. This is worth $50 a month. This is worth $200 a month. To be part of what God is doing there, I want to be part of that, whether my church does or not.
Yeah.
And so we really are looking for coffee dates. We really are looking for small groups and Bible studies, because it's very true in our numbers right now, in the funds that we've raised at the moment, in the official monthly support, 29% of what we have comes from churches. 71% of what we have right now is individuals who are faithfully giving. The numbers are real. And so that's what we're looking for. Sunday morning presentations are great. Churches that are willing to bring us on are absolutely wonderful. We would love that. There is a massive safety in having a body of believers giving faithfully. You know, churches don't get laid off and pause their support. Churches don't have health struggles and shift their focus for a period of time. That's good. But to wait for only churches to go through approval of mission boards and approval of elder boards and having Zoom meetings leading up to a physical presentation and then talking after the presentation, there's a lot in that process, and we're looking at an accelerated timeline to go. So we're happy to have those Zoom calls and focus on as many churches as we can get open doors in, but we're also looking for individuals. And we're looking for churches that are willing to connect us with individuals. And we're looking for individuals who are willing to connect us with individuals.
And if you weren't there at the beginning of the live stream, like, we're enjoying some South African cream soda, which is green, like Ninja Turtle slime or Jello. That's what we've decided in the comments so far.
Right.
So we have a lot that we need to accomplish in between now and September 29th, but really most of it needs to be accomplished by August 31st. The reason being is because, you know, it's, if we don't get fully funded, like if it's September 28th and we're not fully funded, we don't have time to buy our tickets. So we really need to accomplish all these things by the end of August. We have got to pack and purge, which, praise God, we did most of that in Texas. A lot of what we have in the house we are living right now is borrowed or given items to use in the meantime. Like, we were given a whole set of dishes to use. We had an amazing teammate who, after her wedding, she and her husband have not moved into their own house. They've been living with family. And she was like, we're not using our kitchen stuff anyway. You can use it for as long as you need, which is just such a generous gift. Like, amazing. So we've been using her dishes, and several people have gifted pieces of furniture and various different things, and a mattress or two, beds, stuff like that. So we need to start, you know, trimming down those items, returning them to people that were lent to us, and then, you know, the rest of the items can be sold or given to Goodwill. We've got several projects and house improvements we want to make on the house before we go, just painting and various things like that. We've got our paperwork, which Joe mentioned before, which mostly that's like, you know, visa, work permit, ticket buying, all that kind of stuff. We want to gather items that we want to take with us. And we're going to be talking with our teammates that are in South Africa as we get closer to our leaving date to find out what items we as a family might like to have. Like I have a very specific natural deodorant that I enjoy, and I want to make sure that either there's a good alternative there or maybe I need to take some with me. So different things like that. And we want to figure out our shipping. So we are not bringing a ton of stuff to South Africa, but we are bringing some items. Some of those items get chosen to be brought because they're cheaper here than they are in South Africa. For instance, Joe's instruments, my sewing machine, stuff like that. Some items are chosen to be brought because they are sentimental. We're bringing, photos and stuff like that. Some items are being brought because they will make transitioning into a new country easier for our kids. We want them to have their favorite toys and favorite belongings so that our new home in South Africa feels even more like home to them. And of course, we need to buy our tickets, but we also need to make memories. We have family here, we have friends, we have our sending church, and we want to make sure that we are having time to honor those goodbyes really well. We want to do something fun. We want to do something sentimental. We want to just have some time together. So those are kind of like our major checklist points. And of course, within each of those, there's a lot of sub check box. I don't know what I'm trying to say. There's a lot of sub points in all of those major points. So we have a lot of things to do.
Yeah. And of course, one of the biggest things with having a lot to do is the fact that I'm still working full time. Mm-hmm. And that becomes problematic. Mm-hmm. It's hard to split things 50-50 when the amount of time we're in the home is split 90-10.
Yeah.
So my poor wife, God bless her, has so much ahead of her as I'm transitioning things, and I've done my best so far to transition well. When I stepped into the role at our sending church, it was an emergency situation. Mm-hmm. We're not emergent anymore. Mm-hmm. And so we're at the point where I can begin transitioning. Our replacement for my role has started on a part-time stipend, and I'm training piece by piece. Mm-hmm. And the handoff is happening toward the end of June. We'll be back together for our VBS week at church, and then July 6th, it's actually July 7th because of the 4th of July weekend. Monday, the church office is closed. So Tuesday, July 7th, will be my last day at Horizons. And then over the rest of July, as we prepare for a larger fundraising trip, support raising trip, across the South, through Texas, and then back up through the Midwest is what we're looking at. We would have a couple weeks in July where my full-time job is helping prepare for our trip and helping close down our house. Mm-hmm. And it is time for that to happen. I was very excited.
I just want to give a shout out. Harley, I'm not 100% sure. Oxendine. Yeah. I just I don't want to pronounce it wrong. If God has been gesturing to your heart to donate to missionaries in Portugal, Harley, her family is your family. Amazing family, and we love them, and we're hoping that we're going to get to see them in all of our travels. So kind of on that same thread, has been life has been very, very just rotating and constantly different over the last few months. Last few years, really. And Joe working full time has been an absolute blessing. And, when we packed up in Texas to come to West Virginia, we really didn't know what God was going to do and how he was going to provide for our family. And getting a job at our sending church was an unbelievable gift. A remarkable gift. I need to drink more coffee and less green cream soda, which again, if you're new, here's the green cream soda from South Africa that we are enjoying, but I am going to have to switch to coffee because I'm still not awake yet because it's 9:28 in the morning. So people sometimes ask, how do you guys travel so much? How do you how are you doing all of this? And the truth is it's been hard. It's been a lot of work, but a lot of fruit and a lot of great memories and opportunities. Um, but it has been challenging, you know, with me homeschooling the kids and trying to make as much progress as possible in support raising while Joe's working a full-time job and trying to make as much progress in support raising around that. And so July 7th is just going to be an amazing day for us because we're finally going to both be able to throw ourselves fully into what God is calling us to do. And so we're very, very excited about that. And our kids are very excited about that. They don't see very much of their parents, even though they're home all the time. We're usually at computers or making thank you packets or, you know, running off to work at the church. So yeah, we're excited to have a tiny bit more regularity in our life. Obviously, still pretty insane because we got a lot to do. But then when we get to South Africa, you know, having even more regularity and having a regular family life again is something that we desperately crave. We've not really had that since my mom got sick in 2022 and came to live with us. And we're getting close to like 4 years since that happened, since they came to live with us when she got sick with cancer. And so our lives have just not been the same since. And we're looking forward to discovering again what normal family life is like and getting to really feel like ourselves again and not permanently exhausted pigeons is how I feel.
Yeah. We are excited. I've worked a lot historically, and we've needed to, and that's been what's necessary to support the family. But now I'm ready to be fully committed. Question just came up in the comments. Our commitment to South Africa, how long is the commitment? The real answer is indefinitely. When we started looking for full-time church ministry work, and the opportunity in Texas came up, we felt fairly clearly that this is not a lifetime thing. This is a season, and we kind of expected it to be a 10, 15-year season, something like that. Like, we knew we would be in Texas for a while working with the church, but we didn't feel like that was the long-term goal for our family. With every discussion we've had about South Africa, we don't feel that. And so we are committing to effectively spending the rest of our lives there. I genuinely would be happy to retire there. If we need to retire back in the States, God will have to tell us to go because, frankly, South Africa feels like home.
We got another great question in the comments, and it actually has made me think of another commonly asked question, so I'm going to answer both. So Amanda asks if we are going to be homeschooling in South Africa, and what does that look like there? Excellent question. So grateful you asked. So one, we are planning on homeschooling. Ever since we started homeschooling when Penny was in preschool, we have always been open to our kids going to public or private school. We just wanted to kind of like take it year by year. You know, we do believe that there should be some good kids as missionaries in the school system, but we wanted to make sure our kids were ready to be missionaries because especially every single day, our school system in this country is becoming more and more a mission field, and I'm sure that's true everywhere. And so we don't want to send them until they're ready. And so it's something we wanted to kind of evaluate as we went. We are so grateful that there are some great schools in South Africa. The team who has been there, some of their kids were homeschooled, some went to regular school, and some kind of split their time between both. And they loved that experience and they were very happy with it. And so we're very eager to explore that possibility. But for right now, we really love homeschooling and our girls really love homeschooling. We like the flexibility of being able to take vacations whenever we want. We like to kind of be a little bit more slow in the mornings sometimes. So yeah. Now there are libraries, there are bookstores, everything we could possibly need for homeschooling is there. There are some materials that are a lot easier and cheaper to get here before we go. So we've been using a homeschool math curriculum called Math UC for the last, not very long, last year I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And we love it, and it's super amazing. So I actually put in our Amazon wish list all the books we will need for the next few years so that we can go ahead and take those with us, and we're not going to have to plan math for the next few years, which is awesome. And what I really like about it is the tools that you use for it are the same. So you don't have to be constantly getting new stuff to upgrade in different math. It's just different books. So we already have the manipulatives to use for the math program and everything, which is awesome. So if you ever want to have access to our Amazon wish list, it's on our website, and I'm putting things on there that will be useful for our time as we move overseas. And then as far as the laws around homeschooling in South Africa, for people who are what we will be is called expats, which means you're a person that lives in a country that's not the country of your birth. So for expats, South Africa's laws are that you follow the homeschool laws of wherever you come from. Now, homeschool laws for South Africans are pretty strict, unfortunately. And so we're grateful that we don't have to follow those laws, and grateful that we can stick with American laws. And so yeah, that's what our plan is, and that's what it's going to look like. Very similar to what it looks like here. And even our organization, built into our support raising, is our budget for homeschooling. So we get an amount of money that's dedicated to whatever we need for our children's education purposes. And that can look like, tickets to the local animal experiences. It can look like purchasing books. Going to be purchasing a printer pretty early on, because we do use an online program to print out a lot of worksheets and stuff like that. So yeah, great question. And it made me think of another answer to a question, and now I've already forgot what that question was. So I'll come back to that.
Yeah, it's funny how many little things will change. Of course, the power system, the electrical system, is different in South Africa, so we can't just take our printer. Although we could get a power adapter and use it, but they use a different size of paper than we do. A4 will be, not just the standard American letter size, 8.5 by 11, but A4 is just a little bit wider and a little bit taller. And so getting everything adjusted for that, it's much easier and much better to buy a printer there and buy paper there, and all of that.
And I see we've got 14 viewers now. So if you haven't seen it yet, here is the green cream soda from South Africa that we were sipping on. We also have our coffee to help keep us awake, but yeah. So since we're talking about kids, we'll just keep on talking about that. But we wanted to kind of be vulnerable about, like, okay, Abby and Joe, we know you're excited to go. You're very clear about that. You share all the time how excited you are. What are you nervous about? What are you worried about? I don't know. What are you stressed about? We do have a lot of things to do between now and the end of August. That is definitely something where the to-do list is long. So we are just praying that we get it all done, and that we are good stewards of everything that God has given us in this season, everything that is coming. We are aware of the risk of burnout, and in a lot of ways we have felt burnout off and on for the last few years. Taking breaks is hard when you're so dedicated to get to your country as soon as possible. We recognize that the need is so great, and especially because we'd already upended our lives and left Texas, we really just felt very unplugged, I guess. just like, okay, we're ready to plug into our new home. And during this season that we have been here in West Virginia, we are so grateful for the time that we have gotten with family, especially, our young nephews. Howdy, Kevin. We miss our Texas family and friends too. So we're just ready to go, and we've been very powering through and doing all the things. So it's just more of what we've been doing, but even kind of like a little bit more than what we've been doing. So we're just like a little nervous about all those things that we have to accomplish. Of course, there's always things like, lost baggage and traveling, and, it's kind of like that, the details of, our plan is to arrive in South Africa, take a deep breath, and then quickly turn around and head to Cape Town for this conference, which we are so grateful for and we're so excited for, but it does sound exhausting. So we're a little nervous about all that. And then there's all of the things with moving to a new country. You know, sometimes people will say, ask us, do you have to learn a new language to go to South Africa? And we'll say, no, we don't. And they will say, like, oh, well, then that won't be any problem then. But one thing that is helpful to understand is that when you move to any country in the entire world that's different from yours, no matter what language is coming out of your mouths, there's a lot of language pieces that aren't spoken. You know, how do you greet someone properly? What is considered appropriate or inappropriate clothing could be different in different places. Different hand gestures that are fine in America might not be fine where you're going. Different things to joke about. Not every culture views things as humorous the same. And you know, we could go into a lot of details about that, but that's another video. So as we are adjusting to life in South Africa, we have a lot of those different things to learn and explore, and it's tricky because you have to learn to behave in ways and say things in ways that are different than are natural to you, and that can kind of put you on what's the word I'm looking for, kind of like a
Weirdo list?
yeah, which we're used to being on that. We're just weirdos. But so we want to make sure that we don't get to South Africa and offend somebody super early on and ruin a relationship. Like, that's not our hearts. We want to have amazing connections from the get-go. We want to make as little mistakes as possible. And so alertness, I think, is the word I was looking for earlier, where you have to be alert and aware and constantly learning all the time. Every time you go out to the grocery store, you are looking and observing what's everybody else doing and how can I appropriately follow also what they are doing. So yes, we know that God's going to help us, and we also know that our team is amazing and they're going to guide us through that whole process, but we just want to be good stewards of that as well. Radiator fluid or windshield wiper fluid? I don't know.
Yes.
I don't even know why that's an important question. Hire a mechanic. I think that's my
Yeah.
answer to
Yeah.
that question.
We will. There are many vehicle brands in South Africa that do not exist. Here.
Even Toyota, they have a factory in Durban, and they make specific types of Toyotas only in South Africa. So that's an interesting thing.
Yeah. Mitsubishi has a pickup truck that's called the PIKUP, the pickup. Makes me very happy.
And this is a financial question, so that's you.
Okay, so how does the calendar fundraising tool you post work? Is that a one-time donation amount or a times 12 amount? What was the calendar fundraising tool that I'm going to South Africa to help churches with websites and social media, and I've got her running the social media right now.
I don't know what that is.
Okay.
Like, I thought he was talking about the AWE donation portal. Is that not what he's talking about?
I'm not sure.
How does your calendar fundraising tool you post
Yeah.
work?
In any case.
Oh, is it maybe the countdown thing? Here, David, if you could just post a clarifying, because we don't know what you're talking about. Do you? No, I thought I had it.
That's okay.
Oh,
It shows a month with an amount on each day.
It shows a month with an amount on each day. I don't know what that is.
I'm not sure. Abby's gonna look, and we will.
Is it on our social media? Is that what you're talking about, David? Like, is it this thing? I don't think that's what you're talking about, though.
Yeah. In any case.
Oh, a month with an amount on each day. Nope. I thought I had it. Sorry.
That's okay. In any
Drink some more
case,
coffee.
the fundraising amount that we are looking for in monthly support is $2,550 a month. And so through the giving portal that is on our website, he said, nope, post it on Facebook.
Post it on Facebook.
Susie said you pick a day and pay that amount.
Pick a day and pay that amount. do not know. Now, we do have this, which is our puzzle pieces where you can pick an amount. But I don't think that I've posted anything about a day. It's not sounding familiar.
Oh, well. We'll review our own social media and get an answer to that. We'll come back and comment as soon as we find it. In any case, through the giving portal on ABWE, you can choose an amount that you want to give, and then it will ask if you want to give that amount one time or monthly. And if you choose monthly, then you choose what day you would like it to go. And
all right, I think he's saying, yes, let's go with that. I'm assuming that was in regards to the puzzle thing that I posted.
Or the we'll come back later and comment.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, so in any case, that's what we're looking for, and that's what we'll be sharing with people as we travel. We make it very easy. Our website is our last name.africa. You can do barnowski.africa/give, and it will forward you to the giving page on ABWE's site.
Oh, it's weird when we post an image. I can't post an image and comments on the live, so anyway.
Yeah, we'll come back.
We'll circle back. Yeah, we do really like our puzzle visual. I'll show it again. Although you probably really can't see it. It's a puzzle. It's a puzzle where if all of those puzzle pieces gets spoken for, we will be fully funded. And so that can look like $5 a month. Oh, the puzzle image. Okay, good. Yay! We discovered a mystery. Listen, I need about 20 cups of coffee. Yeah, so those are monthly. So it's like $5 a month, $10 a month, whatever. And so, yeah, when all of those are claimed and that puzzle is completely taken off of our faces, we will be fully funded. And so, and you know, it can be really easy to be like, oh, mine's only a $5 a month puzzle piece, and so-and-so's is $100 a month, and that just feels like that person's doing more and this person's doing less. And I can promise you, it is not. And that's why each of those puzzle pieces are the same size. They are equal gifts. And, you know, we encourage everybody to look at the story in the Bible of the widow with the copper penny. You know, like people were going in line before her giving lots more and, you know, lots more. But she was giving sacrificially. And we recognize that every single one of you, no matter how much you are giving, is giving sacrificially, right? Like you're sacrificing a Starbucks coffee. You're sacrificing, you know, an amount that would be going into your savings or whatever it is. You are making a sacrifice for us, and we are so grateful. And no sacrifice is too small or too great.
Yep.
So
I think we've talked about how we are handling it, and
yeah, let's talk about our kids handling it.
Yeah.
So our kids are doing really, really well. They love South Africa. I think that, you know, especially with the ages that they are, it can be very hard for a kid mind to be like, this is worth it because of where we're going. But our kids handle it particularly well, we feel like. They, you know, because they hear a lot, well, you know, this will be different when we're in South Africa. So that's like a daily conversation we have. And, you know, it can be really hard that we can't bring every single toy that they own. We just can't. And so they have decisions to make about like what can go, what can stay. We are going to let them each leave an amount of things here in the States so that they can come back and be like, oh, this was like my favorite stuffed animal when I was a kid, you know, stuff like that, to try to ease the burden. Also knowing, like, we have our board games. We are a board game family. We have our board games on a shelf, and we've gotten the ones that we know for sure we want to take with us. Those are packed, and they're waiting to go to South Africa. The rest of them are ones where we're going to play them again in between now and the time to go and decide, is this a board game that we want to take to South Africa? Is it one that's going to stay here in America so that when we come to visit, we can play it with our family? Or is it being passed along to another family? And so we just have a lot of that going on. So overall, they're doing really well, but they are craving regularity. I can see that every single day. And so, yeah, we're eager to provide that stability and regular life again for them.
Absolutely.
Oh, we would love you to paint their portrait, Deanna. Thank you. It's such a what a wonderful gift that would be to us. I'm gonna just double check because I'm afraid I missed comments in the puzzle.
Yeah, we'll take
In the puzzle.
just a couple more minutes because we want to honor your time as well. You have a lot to do, and we're grateful that you've taken time to join us today. Um, the overarching theme is we finally have a target date. One question we haven't covered is what happens if we miss it? And frankly, that's fine. It would mean that we have helped reduce the cost for all of the other families attending the South Africa Regional Conference, Southern African Regional Conference, and we're okay with that. We are looking forward to helping our teammates. This is just a way that we can do it earlier. So really our benchmark is we're taking this trip through the South. Tanette commented we're going to be doing something with her church in Mississippi on our way to Texas. We're waiting to nail down that date. I have a couple pending dates in Texas I'm waiting to hear back on. And so we're going to be making a trip through the South. I should reverse for the camera. Through the South, from West Virginia down through North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, possibly Florida, across to Mississippi, maybe Alabama, get our way over into Texas. We're targeting Houston, Austin, San Antonio, possibly Waco,
Possibly Missouri as well. Don't forget Missouri.
in Texas.
Oh,
And
sorry.
then when we leave Texas, we're going to go up through Oklahoma and hoping to hit Missouri. Going to be looking for a church near Chicago. Because we have another event in Chicago coming up, and so we would like to just kind of be in that area a little more, and then make our way back to West Virginia. And we have a potential, it's not permanent on the calendar yet, but our sending church would like to have a commissioning service for us as they send us out. And so we need to be at 100% by the end of August in order to get our clearances, get our paperwork, and go. So if August 31st rolls around and we are at 92% or 98%, if we are anywhere short of 100% at the end of August, that just means we're not getting to South Africa October 1st. Maybe it means we're getting to South Africa October 15th or November 1st. In any case, it means we're close. It means we're moving along still. And darn, we make it to Durban for Christmas instead of the South Africa conference. And that's okay. It's ultimately in God's hands. We feel that God has opened a door for us to go sooner. When we were praying about putting a stake in the ground, a door opened. You know, we were trying to pick a date to make a move by, and then mysteriously and amazingly a date appeared that would work. So we are excited about that. But if the Lord needs us to hang on for just a little bit longer, that's his prerogative. We trust him completely, and we're not going to be mad about it. But I'm not trying to hedge bets by saying that. We feel called to take this step and go. And if this is like Abraham taking Isaac up the mountain and we get all the way to the top and he's like, by the way, there's a slightly different plan, so be it. So that's where we're at. Kevin was asking about the green stuff we were drinking when he said radiator fluid.
Here is the...
This is cream soda from South Africa that we brought back. We're trying not to drink all of it. We have some American friends, especially with kids, that are wanting to have some, but we're losing carbonation. So
I know.
we need to get together with them
The
soon.
lid went away somewhere. I don't know where the lid
I think it's
is.
under my chair. In any case, that is the summary. God has opened a door for us to move sooner, and so we are pursuing moving sooner, and we're just going to see what God does. It's really exciting / terrifying to be at this point in this phase, because at the point that we were asked, you know, they said, hey, no pressure, no rush. Do you think it's realistic you could be here by October? At that point, we had nothing on the calendar for July, August, September. June is incredibly packed. We put that in our last newsletter.
Yeah.
We're gone for a week for a trip to Florida with a beautiful feet training.
Mm-hmm.
I have 2 weeks at ABWE's headquarters for
Mm-hmm.
theological training through the Roots of Faith seminars. We come back from that and go straight to a church in Pennsylvania that we know, love, and trust, and they're wonderful, and they're doing some beautiful feet support raising that weekend, and then we come back and it is VBS week at our church, and the week after that I quit.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have no official bookings in July or August. We have one conference in September, and that's for ABWE, not for us.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a fun and weird and terrifying place to be, where if we're going to get to 100% by the end of August, God has to open the doors and make a way where there is literally no way right now. We're doing our best. We are 100% pursuing every open door in front of us. We have, not that I'm counting, but just over 500 churches contact info that we've gotten through ABWE tools and portals in our missions portal, churches that have had experience with ABWE missionaries. And so we're going to be reaching out. I mean, it's cold calling, it's cold emailing, it's all the nasty, not fun stuff that everybody hates to do. But if God's going to open doors, I should probably go knocking. And so this is just the phase that we're in, and we're praying earnestly that God will open those doors and make a way where we see none.
Amen. Yeah.
So that's where we are, and that's what's next.
All right, so we've got a couple. So Charlotte is asking about the connection with my parents' ministry, or the group. So I'm assuming you're talking about the village that they were working in. If that's not right, let me know. I am in contact with the village, and I'm so grateful that God has provided another ministry that is helping with them. The ministry is called Dorcas Creation. Please reach out to me and ask about how you can donate to them, because they are doing incredible work. They have really made huge impacts, and in fact, I haven't shared pics and videos yet because I've been so busy, but a couple of days ago, they sent videos of Sabina, if you remember Sabina, walking upstairs. So with assistance, but that's something that she's working on. And it's crazy that it was not long ago, it was just a year ago, almost a year ago, that we thought that she would never walk again. And now she is like working on taking first steps. So Dorcas Creation is an incredible ministry, and we are one of the projects that they are building. It's kind of like building up a bank for, is training the people in mom and dad's village to do beekeeping. They're hoping this will be sustainable income for them, because obviously the jewelry was an amazing rescue for the village in the situation they were in, but it's not sustainable since there's no one there to bring the jewelry back to sell, and there is no place for them to sell it in Kenya. So excuse me, I'm sorry. So we're hoping the beekeeping can be something that they can learn how to do, and they can be sustained that way. So I'm in very regular contact with the head of Dorcas Creation, and occasionally with the pastor's family from the village to hear updates. And so I'm very grateful that that relationship is continuing. So yeah, thank you for asking. Yeah, I think we're caught up on questions. The only thing that we had left, if we had time, which we kind of really don't, because we didn't want this to be longer than an hour, because y'all don't want to listen to us talk for an hour, is we just want to reiterate how excited we are to work with our team in South Africa. Honestly, if our team left and moved somewhere else, we might want to follow them because we love them so much. And our team consists of the missionary family that is our team leads. Right now they are the only ABWE missionary family in Durban, And so we will be the second, hopefully. There is at least one other family also in the works of moving there, and we got to meet them at a training, and we are so excited to do life with them as well. And then our team also consists of national partners, people that we have a relationship with from our time there, and are very excitedly, they send us messages sometimes saying, we can't wait for you guys to come. And I'm like, I can't wait to go.
Yeah.
We're excited to do life with them, and we're excited to do ministry beside them. We know we are in good hands with those people to train us up to be good missionaries in South Africa. So, yeah. And Jan shared Psalm 20, verse 4. And while she's looking up that, I'll answer Deanna's question. So the organization we are with is the Association of Baptists for World Evangelism. And our sending church is a non-denominational church, but it aligns with Baptist views. And it's not Southern Baptist, it's just... generic Baptist? What do you call it?
Yeah, ABWE is generally Baptist. They would, align with Westminster Confession, maybe most closely aligned with the GARBC, just belief-wise. The GARBC was founded in the 1920s as kind of a reaction to how some Baptistic churches were taking more liberal views, and they said, no, we're focusing on what the Word of God says. ABWE was rooted out of a missionary serving in the Philippines as a doctor who was told, you need to stop doing ministry and work in the hospital more. And he said, but people are getting saved. And they said, we don't care. Go back to your job. So he quit and went back to the States and said, I'm trying to save people's souls, and accidentally started a missions agency out of it. The story is much more detailed and complex, but as people were taking liberal views with what to do with their faith, Dr. Raphael Thomas founded what became ABWE, and at the same time in the States, people were taking liberal views with faith, and the GARBC was formed to say, no, we're sticking to conservative, real Baptistic views. And so that's the quickest and easiest way. I will say, abwe.org, check out the website. It is not hard to find their doctrinal statement. And the doctrinal statement is actually a large document that doesn't just say, we believe this. It says, here's our stance and here's why we take it.
And several verses for each point, too.
Yeah.
And they do hold only to the things that are important and like the true, not like how we worship, what hymns we sing, stuff like that. Like, it's just what are most important tenets of faith. So I just want to real quick read the verse that Jan shared. And I kind of want to back up. She said Psalm 20, verse 4, but I want to include verse 2 through 4. So, may he send you help from the sanctuary and give you support from Zion. May he remember all your offerings and regard with favor your burnt sacrifices. May he grant your heart's desire and fulfill all your plans. So that is a good verse. We're definitely going to be writing that down in our prayer journal over our support raising journey. It is very, very helpful. Thank you.
Absolutely. David, I will check that out when we're there, once we're kind of settled and situated and seeing what's going on. We've talked about it in previous things, but just as a recap in case folks haven't heard, ABWE has planted 13 churches in Durban over the last 20 some years. And so these churches are wonderful. They're biblically rooted. They're doing an amazing job. They're discipling. They're planting more churches themselves. And so our calling is to go and support all of the churches in what they're doing tech-wise and women's ministry-wise. And so our first priority is to get established and connected with all 13 churches that are there. And so really it's going to be the first year or so, 6 months to 12 months, where we're figuring out what's going on. And getting established there, and then we'll start making the connections with the support ministries and see what's happening. But I will make a note of that. I will throw it on the calendar because Google Calendar is my cheat sheet for everything. and we'll look that up.
Yes.
So I think we're just over an hour, guys. Thank you so much for your time,
Yeah.
for your questions. It has been so good connecting with you. We're always happy to connect further if you have more questions, or if you know of people that would like to have us come and speak at a small group, at a Bible study, at your church, and you want to make a connection. We can do that however you like. You can give us contact info. You can give them our contact info. You could email all three of us and say, both of you just met a really cool person. Whatever works best. We love you. We look forward to being connected with you, moving forward in prayer, in fellowship, in service for God's plan in South Africa. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Love you all.
Be well.